that stick, and man go remember na Dr. Fru. If you want to come back and that stick, and man go remember na Dr. Fru.
Dr. Fru, Dr. Fru, na kanda stick. Dr. Fru, Dr. Fru, na kanda stick.
Try Me is an anointed healing panacea produced from 24 plants of life and 48 species of life, a combination which has given it an overwhelming and irresistible strength over all forms of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual imbalance or malaise. Try Me, also known as the balm of Africa or the miracle, is 100% organic and natural with a lot of mystical properties. Try Me inhibits, eradicates, heals, and keeps the whole system free from parasites, microbes, and all negative radiations. Try Me detoxifies and cleanses the blood of all impurities, repairs damaged cells and tissues, and boosts the immune system naturally and supernaturally. Try Me dissolves tumors and cancerous cells and regulates the functioning of all cells, tissues, and organs. Try Me has received 2 awards in less than 4 months as the best natural medication in the decade for the cure of many tropical diseases. Confess the wonders of Try Me and be blessed by the good Lord who has inspired Dr. Fru Richard to come up with this millennium challenging product to help heal the world of all ailment, as it is written in Ezekiel 47 verse 12 and Revelations 22 verse 2, where there is no cure, Try Me is the hope and the answer.
Welcome to Health Secrets. Here we find ourselves in this beautiful garden, Dr. Fru's Garden of Eden's International Healing and Research Foundation here in Boya. We are celebrating traditional medicine. Today is the 9th edition of the African Traditional Medicine Day. So Dr. Fru will be answering questions from the national and international journalists who are here present in this garden. So let's welcome the doctor to see what he has for the world. Down. Isaac, you're welcome. Thank you.
You are welcome into the Garden of Eden, known as Dr. Fru's Garden of Eden International Healing and Research Foundation. I know this is not your first time. We have been organizing press conference for the past 8 editions since the African Traditional Medicine Day was created by AU, the African Union, due to so many meetings that have been holding, debating on it by African Ministers of Health. But this year we have taken a different dimension. We are not holding this, I'll call it meeting, in our normal environment, because if you go by the call of the press, we say it was a press briefing, not a press conference. So we call you here since we believe the journalists, the press, the radio, the television, and all the other media organs are the vehicles that carry our research works, our information to the consumer. So today we are celebrating the 9th African Traditional Medicine Day, and the theme is the preservation of medicinal plants, Africa's heritage. The theme is very timely because before the theme came up, we have been carrying our crusades. In our crusades, we have been very vocal against the destruction of our heritage, which is considered our green gold. Our medicinal plants, our green gold, which if well researched, documented, we have a lot to do as far as health is concerned. We all know before colonization, the whole of Africans depended on traditional medicine for their health needs. When our colonial masters came, I know their aim, they were looking for a market, looking for gold, looking for food. And when they came in order to plant what they came with, They had to first of all destroy what we have in order to have a way to plant what they came in for a better market. So they destroy our African traditional medicine, painted it black, and make us to scare away from it. So over the years, because of the shortcomings of conventional medicine, has created or raised eyebrows, creating an alarm, and WHO came in strongly to see why, despite all the technological advancement, the high publicized conventional medicine, more and more Africans still go in or rely solely on traditional medicine. Because statistics carried out by World Health Organization indicates that more than 80% of Africans rely on traditional medicine for their health needs. Another research carried out in Europe shows that even those who claim not to consume traditional medicine live on higher plant extracts for their health needs. This still boils to traditional medicine. Then research has also been conducted which shows that for every 10 people you meet in Europe and America, at least one has one type of cancer and another. This was a ringing bell for WHO to now probe into research and discover what is going wrong. They discovered that most of the medicines which are coming from abroad, most of them are adulterated. They have a lot of toxins. That is why in March, about 400 medicines have been discovered to have carcinogenic effects in Europe, and there's a call that they should be withdrawn out of the market. 400 medicines. This research was carried out, was discovered in March this year. But if you go to our pharmacies around, these drugs are stocked there. We are consuming them every day. So WHO now had to come in because they discovered that Africans still rely on traditional medicine more than 80%. They have to now dive in to see how they can promote traditional medicine to be consumed not only in Africa, in the whole world, because they discovered traditional medicine has a lot of advantages. Traditional medicine is culturally acceptable, socially sanctioned. It is easily prepared. You don't have to pass through complicated laboratory processing, diagnosing, using preservative agents or chemicals before it is consumed. It is accessible, it's everywhere. There's traditional medicine. All the plants we see around us here are traditional medicines. And they also believe that what the people believe in it works in them better. Because faith comes in. So they say traditional medicine is culturally acceptable. It does not infringe with the culture of the society. That is why the adjective traditional is used to define the type of medicine. Just like conventional medicine, the adjective conventional is used to define the type of medicine. So in 2001, African heads of states had to declare the period 2001 to 2010 as a decade for African traditional medicine. And in 2003, the AU came up with the African Traditional Medicine Day. And the first African Traditional Medicine Day was celebrated in 2003 under the theme, Traditional Medicine, Our Culture, Our Future. But Dr. Samba, who is the Regional Director of Sub-Saharan Africa, elaborated on this theme. He said traditional medicine is our heritage. It is our culture. It is our way of life. It is our pride. It is our future. Even we go back to the Alma-Ata Declaration in 1978, which talks about primary health care. Traditional medicine was also recognized and said to play an important role as far as primary health care is concerned. So I will not belabor on that so much, because I already have a discourse. I'm not used to holding papers and reading. I already have enough information which I will hand to all of you concerning this day. This day centers on the preservation of medicinal plants, Africa heritage. It means that it is our heritage. It ties with the theme of 2003. Traditional medicine, our heritage, our culture, our way of life, our pride, our future. So this team is there to create some awareness on how plant medicines are being exploited. Because there are so many people who are not well informed on how to harvest medicine. They dive into the bushes. In the bushes, they just harvest plants the way they feel they should harvest. They don't know that there are hours that you harvest particular plants, and there is a way that you harvest particular plants. They harvest plants at any hour. They don't know that at certain hours when you harvest plants, they don't work. They don't know that medicinal content of plants changes with time. They don't know that at certain plants you have to harvest in the morning period, some when the sun is up, some at night, some when the moon is up, some when the stars are up. They just know that this plant has been said that it works for typhoid. You harvest any time of the day. They don't know that when you want to harvest trees, you have to look at the sun. You look at the point at which the sun focuses on the tree and harvest at that point, because that point at which the sun is pointing is more active than the point which is out of sun rays. They don't know the philosophy of traditional medicine, the secrets of traditional medicine. They just dive into traditional medicine. They harvest plants and destroy the plants, and this has caused certain plants to extinct. They don't protect plants, they don't preserve plants for posterity. So I believe this team has come up to trigger our minds, the minds of decision makers or policy makers or non-governmental organizations, research groups or individuals, to see how they can best handle our medicinal plants, our green vegetation for posterity, for our to preserve them for our future generation. Decided I was just going to give a brief talk. I will give you my message of the day already typed, so that you will help to send this message out. I earlier said the journalists, which I hold them in high esteem, with great respect. If you go back by the words of the greatest colonel on earth who has ever existed in France, or General Napoleon Bonaparte, he said the highest army general is afraid on earth more than any other army is oppressed.
Antioxytoxin, AOT. AOT is a compoundment of extracts from more than 80 medicinal plants. AOT revitalizes or quickens all body cells in a holistic manner. AOT is antioxidative, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antitoxin, antipoison, antiviral, and anticancerous. AOT is 100% natural, rich in organic compound, impregnated with high radiant and mystical energies that give holistic healing and general body wellness and wholesomeness. AOT cleanses the blood and builds the immune system, both naturally and supernaturally. AOT has a holistic approach in handling HIV/AIDS or a variety of immunosuppressor diseases in the body. Go for AOT, antioxytoxin.
As you rightly said, when couples are together or partners together and there's these difficulties in bringing forth a baby, the accused is always a woman. And they believe that, most people come to me, oh doctor, my woman need a bone, or the woman I need a bone. When they ask, I say, are you the one not able to receive, or is it the man not able to put? remember in the early 2000s when I used to send patients, by then I have not yet had a laboratory. I used to send patients to go and carry out herpes simplex diagnosis in Douala. When they go, most of the doctors, the medical doctors, they would challenge them and say, this traditional doctor, those charlatans, what do they know about what is herpes? Herpes sequoia. They will even change the diagnosis that they should go and conduct by what they feel is troubling them. They will go and conduct with negative. When the patients come back to me, I will shout at them, I told you to go to the lab, not to meet a doctor. I'm a professional myself.
If you want to call back and that's stick, and mango member na Dr. Fru. If you want to call back and that's stick, and mango member na Dr. Fru.
Dr. Fru, Dr. Fru, na canastic. Dr. Fru, Dr. Fru, na canastic.
Welcome to Health Secrets. Here we find ourselves in this beautiful garden, Dr. Fru's Garden of Eden's International Healing and Research Foundation, here in Boya. Today we are celebrating traditional medicine. Today is the 9th edition of the African Traditional Medicine Day. So Dr. Fru will be answering questions from the national and international journalists who are here present in this garden. So let's welcome the doctor to see what he has for the world.
You're welcome. Thank you. You are welcome into the Garden of Eden, known as Dr. Fru's Garden of Eden International Healing and Research Foundation. I know this is not your first time. We have been organizing press conferences for the past 8 editions since the African Traditional Medicine Day was created by AU, the African Union. And many of us we shy away from traditional medicine, which is the bedrock of all medicines on earth and remains the future of medicine. Because I just went through a latest discovery which says we won't take, in the nearest future, traditional medicine will become the main medicine in the universe. Conventional medicine will disappear. The only place conventional medicine will have is when it comes to accidents or stitching, fractures or whatsoever. And they said the future doctor is a doctor who will not even use medicine to heal. A doctor who will only counsel the patients and put them on diet and they'll be healed. Because we are already doing that here. There are so many patients who come here. We discover that they are sick because of dietary divergence. When they diverge from their diets, it goes and causes upset in their genetical makeup, their DNA, and their genes become modified, just like how we modify genes of plants. And we have different type of new species of plants coming, or we are now new species of people known as a modern man, different from the ancient man, because we have diverted from our original diet, and there's a lot of deformation taking place in our system, leading to mutations, tumors, cancers. So I thank you people for honoring our call. In fact, I'm impressed. I know that you people are behind us, you people are with us. And I pray that we'll work with you people to see you are the vehicle that carries the information to the society.
I'd like to find out from the doctor. You are well known to be more involved in the research work in traditional medicines. How has this research helped the evolution of this type of medicines within our setting? Because you know that most of the times your colleagues are involved in what is like soothsaying and all sort of treatment which sometimes make traditional medicine look frightful rather than being something helpful to the society?
Thank you. A branch of medicine known as modern medicine, but I will not say those who are practicing the other medicine, they are doing something bad. It's only if they go into evil practices. You know, traditional medicine is very, very diversified. It is a dynamic practice that, you know, there's a word, there's an adjective that defines traditional medicine, traditional. And you know, it's medicine that is governed by tradition. If you go around the whole universe, there are thousands of traditions. It means there will be thousands of traditional medical practices or medicine practices. In Cameroon, we have more than 250 different tribes. It means that if you carry out research, there will be more than 250 different traditional medicine practices. Soothsaying is traditional medicine. Because under traditional medicine, there are people who are fortune tellers, there are people who are sorcerers or soothsayers, there are people who are divine healers, witch hunters, there are people who just do herbalism or naturopaths. In fact, it is very, very diversified. If you go to China, they have their own practices and beliefs depending on their culture. You go to the Northway, different tribes, they have their practices depending on their culture, what they believe in. You know, if you follow my writings, I said you cannot differentiate traditional medicine and religion, because religion is in traditional medicine and traditional medicine is in religion. Before the white man came, those who governed traditional medicine were the chief priests. They were those who maintained peace in our villages. They were those planting trees and things that make sure that witches don't exist in the villages and maintain peace and order in the villages. When the white man came, they were those offering sermons, known as, they were doing what was known as the African religion. When the white man brought his own religion, brought his own priest, by then they made our own priest here.
En fait, par rapport à cette 9e journée de la médecine africaine, nous on a l'impression que jusqu'à aujourd'hui, vous ne parvenez pas à vous entendre avec la médecine conventionnelle. On dirait que la médecine, la pharmacopée africaine regarde de l'autre côté comme des faits valoir, parce que tout à l'heure vous avez évoqué une propagande pompeuse que la médecine conventionnelle, c'est-à-dire fait, tandis que vous autres aussi, vous le faites. Mais pourquoi vous ne parvenez pas à trouver une entente concrète pour que les choses avancent véritablement?
Modern medicine is strong because it is rudely planted into the government. It is medicine that has been planted from the West, is influenced with heavy sums of money from the West, and the government is deeply involved. That is why they have institutions well organized to make sure the medicine thrives, to make sure they move in a degree of unity, although they are not really in unity. And that is why they are somehow strong. The government is overzealous individuals in the government who have an interest in the conventional medicine, who are in high places, are fighting against traditional medicine. That is why at times I ask whether it's the Ministry of Health in Cameroon, Ministry of Conventional Medicine or Ministry of Health. Because health in Cameroon comprise both the traditional and conventional. But you're surprised that most of the time, those working under the Ministry of Health, they fight against traditional medicine. That is why I call them administrators of conventional health, not administrators of health or public health. Because they fight against traditional medicine. Okay, for example, if you follow all the meetings that are convened in Yaoundé conference concerning traditional medicine, when you go there, those who deliver all the health talks and so on are the professors of medicine, the doctors of conventional medicine. Traditional doctors are not always given the room to talk. The law of traditional medicine, whom I've attended, I've been the one representing the Southwest in 2006 that we have been drafting the law of traditional medicine, is there. If you went there, the place was colonized by Western doctors, Western trained doctors. Traditional doctors had little to say. They brought laws already drafted just for us to amend. So you see, we are scattered. There are people inside the conventional health sector who pretend among us, trying to see how to divide us. Then we are not backed by the government. That's why we are fighting to see how that law will be tabled in the assembly so that they will debate on it and to see how traditional medicine will be legalized. And once it is legalized, it will easily be institutionalized. It will be merged into the national health system. And that is when we will have the power.
When one hears of the International Day of Traditional Medicine, you have the impression that you're coming to see so many traditional doctors coming together to celebrate the day, to deliberate on the issue. I begin to wonder why it is only Dr. Fru who is involved in the International Day celebration. Is it that the other doctors have not accepted the day, or they are not qualified to be part of the celebration?
Not that they are not qualified, they are all qualified to be part of it. You know, when this African Traditional Medicine Day was instituted in 2003, I was embarrassed. I went to the delegation of health with a press release from World Health Organization. In the delegation of health, they were not even aware of a press release from World Health Organization. I have to table a copy to them. So I believe that in Cameroon, this institution, or Dr. Fru, has been the eye-opener. About this day, we have been on the forefront. If you go around Cameroon, for a lot of money, not less than 1.8 million, to say I sponsored it, to promote it. We spend millions each year to promote it. You know, many traditional doctors, it's just that they are not informed, that we are divided. Then there's some sort of jealousy among us. There's some sort of competition just because of lack of information. So at times, when I take the initiative and we call that we should gather together, most of them don't like to come, but they have their reason best known. But I believe this place is an association, which we're a body on our own. It's not an individual, a body, which other bodies can merge with us, join with us, to celebrate or propagate traditional medicine. So we are a body, and we take the initiative to do that. We started it, and we have continued with it. But I'm spending my own money to see that traditional medicine is promoted in the country.
Betois, the chief palace, called Bikong too.